Hi guys, I hope you guys are all doing well. So today I have a pretty fun video for you guys. It's definitely a little different than what I usually put out. But basically I've been doing a lot of reading lately. I think it's because of the change in seasons. It's definitely sweater weather, it's definitely a lot colder now, so I've been really enjoying just cozying up in my bed, enjoying a good solid book. This year has definitely been my book era, and I figured it would be really fun to do a little book haul, little book recommendations for you guys. I'm in no way an expert when it comes to reading. I honestly just pulled a lot of these books from Booktok, and honestly I am so grateful for Booktok because I have pulled a lot of great books from there and I've been really enjoying it. So yeah, I've also been watching a lot of these you know, bookstore vlogs, book hauls, book recommendations on YouTube, and I've been enjoying them so much that I figured I'd do one myself. So yeah, let's get right into it. Let me go ahead and grab my stack of books. Get them. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize how much I got. It's coming, it's coming. Hold on, let me kind of like reorganize it. So wow, it actually looks like a good amount of books. But yeah, this is all my books. It's a mix of books that I've read and also books that are on my TBR list. So yeah, let me go ahead and set it down. Okay, so this first book is the one I was telling you guys about that really kickstarted my love for reading again. And it's a Colleen Hoover book. And the book that I picked up from Colleen Hoover was honestly very unexpected. I was just walking around Target and I landed in the book section. And I was just browsing around and then I saw like this whole section dedicated to Colleen Hoover and I decided to check it out. And the first book that caught my attention was Ugly Love. And I think the reason why this caught my attention was because of the cover. I noticed that it's had to do something with like being underwater, like, so I thought that was really cool. I like the color of it too, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give this a try. So I just flipped it around and I decided to read the summary of it. The storyline is about Collins, and she's the main character. She basically has this like friends with benefits relationship with Miles Archer, and she believes that she would be able to do it. But in the bottom here it says, hearts get infiltrated, promises get broken, rules get shattered, love gets ugly. So the summary really caught my attention. And then I opened up the first page because this is what I normally do when I'm kind of like browsing for books. I kind of like to read the first page just to see how the writing style is and if anything like catches my attention. Because if it does, then I'm definitely gonna be, you know, taking it home with me. So literally on the first page I was reading, there was something in here that just really caught my attention, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna give this a try. I have a feeling it might be interesting, and boy was I right. So one of the reasons why I really love this book too is because I found out that the main character, Collins, is actually a nurse, and I really thought that was cool because I really related to that because I'm also a nurse, and I thought of all chances, the first coho book I picked up would be, you know, about a girl who, you know, is in the same working field as me, and I could really relate to her life. You know, she would give snippets of her going to work at the hospital and also trying to study at the same time. I think she was going for her master's. I would have to double check that, but yeah, I thought that was really cool. This book definitely takes you on a roller coaster of emotions. Honestly, I cried. There were parts where it was just so sad, very heartbreaking. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It had a really good plot line and the character development was really good too. So yeah, I definitely recommend this. So I would give this one a 5 out of 5 in my opinion because, like I said, everything was great. The plot line, the character development, the writing style, very easy to read. Breeze through this book in one day. Like, it was around, I think, 9 hours. I read it from the morning until the evening and I was done. I couldn't like put it down. I literally only put it down to just go eat and then drink, you know, some water, get some food, shower, whatnot. Yeah, so this is just from my personal opinion that I gave this a 5 out of 5. One, because it was my first coho book and it has a very special place in my heart. I think also because I really related to the main character a lot, so that's why. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Alrighty. Okay, so the next book that I picked up and read was Verity. I don't have it with me, it's on my Kindle. that book was the second Coho book that I read. And honestly, I didn't really know much about this book either. I just knew that it was a little bit more on the thriller side. So the writing style is very different than Ugly Love. This was recommended to my friends, and I also heard about it throughout Booktok. Like, it was a very, very popular book on there, and I decided to give it a try. The only thing about this book was I had a lot of high expectations for it. Like I mentioned earlier, I don't like it when people hype up the books too much because I start having a lot of expectations for it. So going into this book, I was already like expecting it to be this really, really crazy good book. So I read Verity after. I heard a lot of people say don't read it in the middle of the night because there are little spooky parts in there. Yeah, I should have listened because I literally read that right after I read Ugly Love, and I was reading it until like 3 AM, and oh my goodness, I was definitely spooked. So yeah, so with Verity, in my opinion, I didn't like it as much, probably because it's out of my comfort zone. In my opinion, there were a lot of like spooky parts, and I found the main character's romance to be a little bit disturbing, especially since you know, they were all in the same house. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to spoil anything. The ending was more open-ended, so yeah, so it wasn't my cup of tea. If I had to rate Verity, I would give it 4 out of 5 because it's a very, very well-written book. It's a very interesting book. It definitely keeps you on your toes. But is it my favorite Colleen Hoover book? I'd say no. So the next book I decided to pick up was another Coho book. I needed a book that was less thriller, a little bit more mellow compared to Verity, and I decided to pick up It Ends With Us. I'm sure a lot of you guys have run across this book, are aware of this book, or read it already. And honestly, I was really nervous just because it was another hyped up book, very, very hyped up book. And I kind of like put it off for a bit just because I was worried it's gonna be one of those books that are overhyped. But boy, was I wrong. Oh my goodness, guys. Whew. This book was so good. It's so good.
No, I'm hyping it up.
So it's about Lily. She's from a small town in Maine and she moves to Boston. And there she meets this handsome neurosurgeon named Ryle. So, you know, there's like some romance between them. But all of a sudden her first love, Atlas, decides to suddenly reappear in her life. So yeah, the storyline definitely caught my attention. I was just like really, really interested in what's gonna happen, especially with these, you know, her previous romance coming back into her life and now her current romance with this neurosurgeon. So very, very good. I liked it a lot. I personally would give it 4.5 out of 5, only because, maybe unpopular opinion, I found Ryle to be very, very cringe. Like, he was a walking red flag and I did not like that. So that's just my thoughts. But I absolutely loved Atlas. Oh my goodness. I'm sure you guys probably saw my pile, but I have It Starts With Us. I literally just picked that up the day after it came out. So I'll be reading it tonight and I'm so excited. Like, I'm so excited for Atlas's POV, the whole storyline in there. And I'll most likely be reading it tonight. So yeah, so excited. But yeah, very good. And the next book I decided to pick up was a book recommendation that I came across on YouTube. I think it was by Zoe Not Zoe. I also saw on Booktok as well. And I think the thing that caught my attention the most was the book cover. So this is called A Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And oh my goodness, look at the cover. I thought it was so beautiful. To be honest, when I first saw this, I thought, like from far away, I thought it was a dragon. So I was like, oh, this seems like it's probably a fantasy novel. So, which it is a fantasy novel and also a very, very hyped up book on Booktok. So again, when I began reading this, I was really nervous because I was worried it was gonna be overhyped. But again, oh my goodness, was I wrong? It definitely lives up to the hype, guys. So this story is about a 19-year-old huntress named Farah. fairy. Oh, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm so sorry if I butcher it. She one day goes into the woods and kills a wolf without thinking about it too much. But unfortunately, this wolf turned out to be a very important member of the Fae society. So one day Tamlin, one of the high Faes, it comes to her house and demands, you know, that she retributes what she did, killing a very important member. So he takes her away from her family, brings her to his hometown, and basically offers her a chance to live there for the rest of her life to redeem the fact that she, you know, killed this member. So from there is where their story develops. It's a very, very good storyline. It's about the Fae world, which I'm very new to. I had to kind of like Google and have a better understanding of it, but wow. I absolutely loved it. It's so good. The author does a very good job of like painting the whole world and introducing you to this world. I would give this book a 5 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. I finished this book I think I'd say within 2 days, and after I finished it, I literally drove out to Target. I literally drove out to Target and was trying to find the sequel to it, and I was able to get my hands on it, but it wasn't at a Target. Because I went to a few Targets and they didn't have it, and then I finally went to one of the Targets that did have it, and I noticed the book was like really damaged, and I didn't want that. So I got really frustrated and decided to just go to Barnes & Noble, and I noticed that they had so many in stock, so I decided to just buy it there. And while I was there, I also picked up another book as well. So I picked up the sequel to A Court of Thorns and Roses. I picked up A Court of Mist and Fury, which I'm currently reading, and I'm really enjoying this. A lot of people said that this is one of like the best books in the series, so I'm really looking forward to what unravels in there. And then I also picked up this book from Barnes & Noble because they had a buy one get one 50% off. I picked up Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Yeah, I saw that there's a Netflix show about this book, and I decided to pick it up and give it a go. So I thought the cover was really pretty, and on the inside too. So I picked this one up because it's buy one get one 50% off, and the other one I picked up was It Starts With Us. And it's so cool because when I picked this up, the cashier gave me a bookmark to match it. And oh my goodness, it's so pretty. On the back it has all of the Coho books listed, which is really cool. And if you guys don't know, I'm a huge bookmark girl. Like, I love collecting bookmarks. I've had bookmarks since my elementary school days. I should do a little haul, but yeah. So I love that it has a matching one. I wish they gave out more bookmarks to match all of her books, but you know, it's okay. This works. And I decided to pick up the Inheritance Games, and this one is by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I love like this emerald green color. This story is about Avery Grans, who one day gets really lucky when she encounters Tobias Hawthorne, who just happens to be a billionaire that leaves behind his entire fortune to her. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. And then the last book that I picked up at Target as well was Beach Read. So this is also a very popular book on Booktok. It's by Emily Henry, and it's basically about two writers. They're polar opposites. It's an enemies to lovers storyline, in which I personally love. I'm a huge sucker for enemies to lovers versus friends to lovers. So yeah, so I thought this was really interesting, and the book cover is really pretty too, so yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!